Hello and welcome to Rangers Radio. It's Port Bear here tonight hosting the show, and I'm being joined by my good mate Gaz and the Godfather, the Bridgeman. Good evening, boys.
Good evening, Port. Good evening, Bridgeman.
Well, can I say a huge good evening to you guys? Massive good evening to the boys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in all over the world. What a wonderful start to the season for us. Brilliant. Good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
We'll start off, lads, obviously talking about the Livingston game. Very comfortable game. Another clean sheet. The records keep rolling on. 40 games unbeaten. 22 at home. It's turning to fourth to Cyprus, guys.
It's brilliant, Port. I mean, a really professional performance, and it did, for me, lay down a marker on the juggernaut that's Rangers now. We're just marching forward in a good continuation for last season.
Aye, Bridgeman.
You can't deny that. It's looking great, and it's wonderful that the players can keep on playing the way they're playing. I mean, and it's another, not their strongest team that made out of the weekend, but my goodness, marvellous performance by them at the end up. 3-0 against that mob, brilliant. Just brilliant. I'm very happy, very happy.
Yeah, mate, yep. Was any surprise with the team selection? Because I don't think anybody got it right on Friday night, did they? Was any surprise about the setup and the way the team was selected?
Port, see, for me, mate, some of the players, obviously, Gerrard done his elbow again, didn't he? He did give us a big surprise, but I could understand some of the players that didn't start. But like say, Roof being on the bench was a bit of a surprise for me, considering that he probably won't play against Malmo. Well, I no say probably, he won't be.
He won't. Yeah.
So I was surprised that he didn't start Roof, if you know what I mean. But and McLaughlin as well. But I suppose McLaughlin's been, as far as I'm aware, he's been left out the European squad. Mm-hmm. So I can understand that, but I don't think your goalie was too happy about that either. I mean, I don't think McGregor was chuffed about it, but I think obviously the managers had one eye on that game and then had one eye obviously on Malmo.
Yep. We'll be touching on that later on in the show, mate. Bridgeman, were you surprised by the team selection?
Oh, actually, I was, but delightfully so. I may say so. I think a lot of the guys got some time in. It was well rewarded for it as well. It was lovely to see Aribo starting. I thought he played very well certainly for the first half, and it was really good to see Big Bassey playing with confidence. So it was really good to see the players that you actually wouldn't expect to see, to be honest. And that was a big game for us. It was a big game. It turned out to be not such a big game, may I say, but it was a big game. There's no doubt about it. And I thought Hadji might have got a game, but there again, he was on the bench. But no, I think it was all complimented. Sorry, he started, and I do apologise. I was getting mixed up with Scott Wright and Hadji. I thought Scott Wright might have got a game at the start because he'd been playing very well, but they put Hadji in. So, but no problems. I thought Hadji played extremely well for the 30 minutes he was on. And Scott Wright came on and blasted everything. Absolutely superb.
You touched on Bassey, Bridgeman. Is he emerging into be the fullback that we believed he potentially had? I thought he grew into the game in pre-season so far. I think Calvin Bassey's been progressing very well. I mean, he can't put a cross in like Borna on a 10th bench yet, but when it comes to defending and marauding down that left-hand side, he's definitely improving, guys, isn't he?
He's what they call a big unit. He's a big fella, and he can move a wee bit. Obviously, he doesn't have the skills, all the high skills that Borna's got, and the instinct from Borna to cross the ball in. So spot on crosses sometimes, So he's got all those skills, and Bassey doesn't quite have them yet, if indeed he'll ever have them. But the truth of the matter is, I thought he's playing very well in that position. Really and truly, I couldn't fault him yesterday. I thought he was just great.
What do you think, Gary?
Port. I mean, Bassey, the full game, loads of energy, he's getting up and down. Some of his 1-2 play, it was especially in the first half with Bassett, Aribo, Kamara, and that they 3-day work well together. Like you says, mate, I think it's just maybe the crossing. If you can develop that, then we've definitely got a top player on our hands. But I'm excited to see Borna back in that position, getting the crosses in, because we've seen on the other side, with having our captain like Tav, the amount of crosses he was putting in for us the other day there, and that one in for Hadji after Tav was just outstanding, mate. So Bassey, brilliant performance for the boy. Another good a good game to get under his belt, especially against a team like Livy. He'll learn a lot for that game, and hopefully it just keeps progressing, buddy.
Yeah. Just a wee mention on Hadji. I thought, again, Gaffer seems to have picked him every pre-season game so far and picks him for the first game in the season. I do believe it was pretty close between Wright and Hadji who was going to be selected. Has Steven Gerrard finally found the conundrum where to play Hadji, guys? Because, he takes that goal. That first touch makes the goal. Let's just say this right now. I don't think there's many. In fact, I think he's the only player with that sort of intelligence to trap the ball the way he did, which makes the goal. The Livingston defenders are still sliding down the Govan stand right now, and they stick it into the roof of the net. You know what I mean? So his footballing IQ is absolutely fantastic. So what do you think of Hadji so far, guys, pre-season and on his first competitive match?
He's been a focal point, and he's definitely been in about it. It looks as though he's bulked up as well. He's the game when he scored. I mean, like you says, mate, that how he caught that ball, and then he had the audacity. He kind of showed the defenders as if he was going to shoot, and then he brought it on his right and smashed it in the back of the net. Brilliant piece of play, and again he loves one thing about Hadji. I think he gets energy for the fans.
Yeah.
Because see when he scored, he was right there, and I think. At times, folks say obviously comes in and out of games, but I think see when that place is bouncing again for us, I think that boy he'll thrive in amongst that atmosphere. It is like Bridge was saying, tight between him and Wright, but I think Gerrard does always prefer Hadji. I think Hadji's got more technical ability, but another a shocking tackle on the boy. I mean, and let's hope that it's not a bad injury for him. I mean, I don't know if the manager said anything more on him the day, but certainly, like I said, it was a shame because he was right in about the game when he got taken off.
What do you think yourself, Bridgeman?
Well, I've already said about Hadji to a certain extent. I think Hadji's he sparkled when he was on the park. He sparkled, and when he went off, obviously everybody was kind of sad. Even though I would imagine even the guys who don't like him, possibly never will, thought he must have played. Must be thinking he played quite well. That's all I can say. He's a really good player. To me, he's a good player.
Right, we're going to have our famous view from a bridge. So Gary and myself get ourselves on mute and let's have view from the bridge.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to A View from the Bridge. Rangers versus Livingston at Ibrox, Saturday, 31st of July, 2021, 1:30 p.m. kickoff. It was just great to get to see our team on the pitch in Ibrox in front of the fans. The new pitch looked fantastic, and it looks like this will be a great investment by the board. A crowd of 23 to 23,500 enjoyed seeing a well-deserved 3-0 victory for the famous against Livingston. That makes it 20 consecutive home league victories for the first time in the club's history. Huge congratulations to the team and the club and, of course, us fans. Another club record for this squad. Our Premiership unbeaten streak now stands at 40 league matches. Following our captain's statement on Friday about taking the knee, it was great to see the reaction of the fans. They were fully supportive, and I salute every one of them. The referee today was John Beaton, one of my favourite refs, as you know, who is always fair to us. Rangers started the game on fire with attack after attack. They were relentless and soon got their reward. Livy started trying to play a high press against us, but soon ended up back in their own half, defending in numbers. The game. From the start, Rangers set their stall out and were starting to camp in the Livy half. We soon got into it and started to get our own passing game together. On 3 minutes, a lovely passing movement by Rangers saw the ball passed out to Tav on the right side of the box, who gets in a shot which goes too high and wide of the target. Hard lines Tav. On 6 minutes, Hadji's fouled on the left from behind by Lewis. Very poor foul, that one. Lewis should have been booked for that. On 7 minutes, Tav takes a free kick, a long back post cross, which finds Hadji at the edge of the 6-yard box in space. He feigns a shot, sending two defenders sliding the wrong way before stepping inside and firing a right-footed shot into the top left-hand corner. 1-0 to the famous. We're on our way. Great goal, Hadji. Well played, Rangers. On 9 minutes, Davis plays a great ball to Tav, running down the right, and from the dead ball line, Tav cuts a high ball back across the box where Kent manages to get in a header. So it gets a header in, and the ball bounces for Aribo, who chests it down and fires in a shot which comes up off the ground and heads for the net. But the Livy keeper makes a great save and puts the ball out for a corner. On 11 minutes, brilliant play by Kent, who picks the ball up down the left, goes past his man, cuts inside, and from the edge of the box has a shot for the far post, which deflects off a Livy player and straight into the arms of the keeper. Nice try with hard lines, Kent. On 13 minutes, Lewis wipes out Hadji with another terrible foul out in the left touchline, picking up a deserved yellow card, which would have been the second yellow and then red. Lewis will cause a serious injury to someone. On 22 minutes, a long ball down the middle sees Anderson get the ball and pass to Sybil on the left, who tries a cross which is blocked by Golson for a corner. A real Livy attack, and they win their first corner. Comes to nothing. On 24 minutes, a booking for Forrest on a two-footed wild tackle from behind on Bassey. Bad tackles from Livy. Two players booked for poor tackles. On 30 minutes, Hadji's taken off, still feeling the effect of that bad tackle from Lewis. He's being replaced by Scott Wright. Good luck, Scott. Rangers are camped in the Livy half against 10 outfield men. Just murder sometimes. 40 minutes, the pace of Scott Wright is as I like to see. Half time, 1-0. 47 minutes, a lovely long diagonal pass from Golson picks out Bassey on the wide left, who gathers and crosses into the box, and the ball is cleared out and gathered by Davis, who takes a few strides and chips a lovely ball chest high to Kent, who guides the ball onto Wright, who has a shot on the volley, which just goes over the bar. Nice play, Rangers. Hard lines right. On 58 minutes, a great passage of play for Rangers sees Golson pick up the ball high up the park and pass a great ball to Ryan Kent on the edge of the box, who gathers, takes 2 steps and tries to side foot the ball into the net from 16 yards out. Ball saved by the keeper. Nice play, Rangers. Hard lines, Kent. On 60 minutes, a clearance from Davis is picked up by Wright well inside their own half, and he heads for the Livy half at speed. Sybil tries to catch him, fails, and lashes out, just tries to stop Wright, obviously illegally, and keeps going. Would have witnessed that, sorry. Now that was a dreadful attempt for a dreadful tackle, to be honest. If he had caught Wright at all there's a chance we could have witnessed a leg break. Obviously, my own opinion. The ref played on as Wright had retained possession, but that was not the time to do a possession play. Not a time at all. When play stopped, the ref booked Sybil, and rightly so, but as far as I'm concerned, that was a red card. Players like that should be hunted from the game and their clubs fined heavily. The world of football is changing, and rightly so. There shouldn't be a career threatening tackles anymore in football. Fans want to see good football with healthy challenges, not killer tackles with injuries. On 70 minutes, a good cross from Bassey finds the head of Wright, who gets it on target and brings a great save from the Livy keeper. Well played, Rangers. Well played, Bassey. Hard lines right. Good header. On 78 minutes, good play by Tav, who finds Wright inside the Livy box, who gets a low pass into Kent, who gathers the ball and tries some mazy moves, which actually bamboozled me, to get some space for a shot. But when he gets the shot in, it's just blocked by Livy players high into the air. Tav managed to get a challenge in and head the ball out to right, who hits a volley with the outside of his right boot, and the ball screams into the net at the far post. 2-0 to the famous. Well done, Rangers. Great play from Kent and Tav. Brilliant goal, right. On 86 minutes, Kent picks the ball up from Bassett and runs crossfield. He is challenged by one Livy player who grabs his arm and tries to drag him to the ground, but fails. Kent continues with the ball and is met by another Livy player who just flattens him right in front of the referee, who ignores the first bad challenge and books the second player. Now, for me, that should have been a yellow card for player one. Stop the game and no playing on. After he decides to play on, he is standing there watching player two make such a horrendous red card challenge and issues only a yellow card. Madness, just madness. Tav takes the free kick and puts the ball straight into the keeper's arms. Poor free kick from Tav. On 89 minutes, after some good attacking passes from Rangers, the ball's crossed by Davis into the 6-yard box. With a little ping pong, it's played by both sides, and the ball breaks clear and Roof bounces and slams the ball into the net. 3-0 to the famous. Well done, Rangers. Great goal from Roof. On 93 minutes, Kent runs down the left, is challenged by Devlin, who steals the ball off him and heads towards the corner flag. And Bassey comes in and tries to shield the ball out for a throw-in. When in comes another Livy player who barges Bassey to the ground, and the ball ends up between Bassey's legs. Devlin just takes a wild kick at Bassey's leg while he's on the ground. Red card all day long. Ref decides it's a yellow card. That's 3 incidents that were easily red cards, and the ref only gives yellow. Now, if that was Morelos, so it's a big question. If that was Morelos, I'm sure it would have made different decisions. Full-time Rangers 3, Livingston 0. This result now puts us 1 game played and top of the league on goal difference. Well done to everyone at Rangers. Once again, the Bridgeman is so proud of them. Player by player, it was just all 7s and 8s and 1-9. McLaughlin 7, Tavernier 7, Golston 7, Balogun 7, Bassey 7, Aribo 7, Davis 8, Kamara 8, Hadji 7, Wright 9, Sakala 7, Kent 7. Now, I put Wright in there, although he was substitute. He came on as a substitute, but I think he made such an impression to me anyway. I thought he was brilliant. Special mention, Scott Wright came on for the injured Hadji on 30 minutes. Brilliant. Man of the match, Scott Wright, followed by Kamara and Davis. Possession stats. Rangers 77, Livingston 23. Shots on target, Rangers 8, Livingston 2. Shots off target, 10 for Rangers, 0 for Livingston. Corners, 7 for Rangers, 1 for Livingston. Fouls, 8 for Rangers, 14 for Livingston. We're now on 3 points from 1 game, top of the league on goal difference from Hearts in second. Pat on the back for all the Bears after this result. Well done. And that was a view from the bridge.
View from the bridge. Can't take it anymore. View from the bridge. Can't take it anymore.
Thanks very much, Bridge. That was a good insight into a very dominant game by Rangers, in my opinion. A few talking points in there. Obviously, we discussed the first goal by Hadji. We touched on that earlier on. And you want to add to the Hadji goal yourself, Gary?
Basically, just like I said, mate, if that was anybody in the Premier League or in the La Liga doing that, it would have been all the news stations, mate. So it was a world-class touch, and it was a brilliant finish with the goal. So, no, like I said earlier on, I was just saddened that the wee man got an injury out it, because I think he would have. I would have suspected he would have got another goal in that game, the way he started. Obviously what Bridge was saying about the game, I think sometimes with Rangers, when we get a goal, we end up sitting back a bit in the game. I felt that like for the next 10 minutes after the goal, we didn't keep charging at them. But it was a controlled performance, so you can't complain.
I feel myself, mate. I think there was really one eye, and I know we try not to do this. Gerrard's always driving it home into about one game at a time. But obviously with team selection, you know, there was definitely one eye in the Malmo game, hence why the team was selected the way it was. I don't think Rangers had to play at their full, you know, potential to beat Livingston. Again, it's only my opinion. So I think, you know, why go out there and play, you know, 100%, give your full throttle football, as Gerrard likes to call it, when you can, you know, play it safe, be careful, cautious, and still control vast majority of the game without, you know, getting any major injuries or to the squad. Because, you know, I just think we dominate the full game at ease with maybe playing about 60%. Is that fair, Bridgman?
I agree with you there. Sometimes it looks like that, you know. You could hear the wee whispers in the crowd as we seem to be dominated so much. We're camped in there, and there were 2 rows of 5 each. And then eventually that became 10 across the 18 yard box at times. And that's how crazy it was, you know. But these teams, I have to say this to you, and by the way, I don't apologise too much for saying it. They're using their bodies like Exocet missiles. They're diving in front of everything. They're diving into players. Just that boy that took Kent out, he ran straight into Kent. And the same it took the one that took Bassey out at the end. He just ran straight into him and barged him. That's all they're doing. And they're going to cause a serious injury. And Rangers players need to be aware of it. And hopefully Rangers management as well maybe come up with some sort of coaching thing to say, don't do this and watch out for that. Because these are just crazy. It's nonsense. For a team to come to Ibrox and play the way they played is nothing short of abominable. Seriously, that's the way I feel, guys. I don't make no apologies.
Fair point. Fair point, Bridgman. Can I just give a wee shout out to my good mate Fox's number 1 player, James Tavernier, mate. Another 2 assists at the weekend, boys. Captain Marvel continues to, you know, get the numbers first game of the season. Did he have a great game at the weekend?
See, for me, there has been arguments about him and Patterson and all that, right? But seeing that game there at the weekend, that, for me, and this is only my opinion, mate, but that, for me, the performance that Tav put in at the weekend basically says to me that there's no argument that who gets that jersey, right? Patterson will get his time in place in our team, but see some of the crosses Tav was putting in. I mean, that cross, like I say, going back to the first goal, Tav put that cross in, I mean, and it landed on Hadji's foot. I mean, see, trying to replace a player like that to do that in our squad, you're talking millions, absolute millions. And he done it. He was up and down, even in the second half. See, for the second goal as well, he done two of their players, nipped in, got the pass away into right, put the pass to Kent. And then obviously it got a wee bit muddled, and then eventually it broke for Wright, and Wright smashed it into the back of the net. But that all came from Tav's power coming down that wing. No, an absolute brilliant performance for our captain again. And like it says, personally for me, there's no argument there. It's Tav all day long that gets that shot.
Fair comment. Bridgman, is Tav basically showing the young pretender what level you have to be at in Patterson? That's the level we expect.
Well, I have to admit, I said it the other night there, Tavernier is some player, and he's got all the qualities, and they're starting to come back again with him, you know, because he kind of tailed a wee bit with the injury he had last season. But my goodness gracious, he runs down that wing, and nearly every single person in our team know where to find him. If in doubt, push the ball out to the right, and Tav will pick it up, and he did that all the time. Was it 2 assists yesterday? 2 assists, mate. I can't even. Don't think he got 3. He got 2 assists. Fabulous! What a return! Fantastic. He's doing well.
Yep. Listen, lads, fancy opening the phone lines just now? We'll start getting callers in and may as well continue the chat with the listeners out there, all the ones in the Facebook lobby and the YouTube lobby. Let's hear these. Be great to hear from our listeners, guys, eh?
Brilliant. Get the beers in, mate.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Hi, Gary. Sorry, man, you go.
No, sorry for to interrupt. No, I was just actually wanting to ask you, mate. Like, Haji's been your main man. Are you impressed how he's developed since he's became a Rangers player?
Oh, obviously, it's well documented on this show that I did think, I still do think so highly of that boy. But coming near the end of the season, through this season, I was starting to have my doubts if it was going to be at Rangers. I still believe this guy is going to be a world star. But the way he started the pre-season and the way he started the game yesterday, mate, it just seems to be Gerrard's found a place for him. If you think about it, he's not as far forward in the front three as he has been, and where at times I felt he went missing. Gerrard's found a place for him, mate, and I think Rangers are benefiting from it because they've not got another player like that. I think the closest to him, in my opinion, is Joe Aribo. But I even think Hagi just has a higher IQ in football than Joe Aribo. Likes of that touch. I don't know many players at Ibrox that could, take that touch, send them players down the Copeland Road and stick it at the top row. You know what I mean? So fair play to him, mate. No, he's still developing. He's still a young lad. He's got plenty of years to make himself even better. So no, I understand what you're saying, mate. But yeah, he's improving every day.
Aye, what I say, mate, is the whole development. I did question him as well, but I did believe he was probably getting played in the right position, and I'm glad now that hopefully he gets settled in the team. Hopefully, like I say, this injury is not too bad, but if he gets settled in that team in the position he's in, because I, like you, felt he was lost out in that right hand side, and I think, like he says, he's not as far forward now, but he's able to kind of ghost for me, which is cool.
Yeah, good point, mate. Right, we've got first caller of the evening. We've got our Amanda.
Oh. You there, Amanda?
Amanda. Aye, we've got to. What about Scott Wright's goal, Gary? Felt Scott Wright's goal was an absolute wonder goal. Didn't think he'd that in his locker, mate. I really didn't. I thought he was just your, winger sort of type player. So what's your thoughts on...
Yes, here Amanda.
Is that Amanda in?
Yep, that's her in.
Hello, how are you all?
How you doing, Amanda? What did you think of that weekend?
Aye, it was a good performance. I thought we played well. We played really well. I just think we've improved since the close season again. And I just thought, I agree with Tav. Tav had a great game at the weekend. I thought his passing was spot on. I thought it was a great game. I thought we really had put a good performance in that, I really enjoyed it. I always enjoy it anyway, you know me. But no, I did. I enjoyed it. I really did. I just can't wait to get back, and myself, I just can't wait to get back. Because I've missed it so much. I think I'm like everybody else. I think it'll be quite emotional when we do get back to Ibrox, you know what I mean?
No, definitely.
I think there might be a lot of tears and snorters. And that's just me. But no, I must admit, I definitely do think we upped our game a lot since the close season. But I'm quite happy. I enjoyed it. Listening to Bridgeman, everybody else enjoyed it. We didn't get a Bridgeman score, but we got a better score than a Bridgeman score. So that done me. And then, of course, the other side losing again, that pushed the weekend a wee bit more again, didn't it?
That puts cherry on the cake, doesn't it, Amanda?
It does, it really does.
Who else did it for you the weekend, pal?
I thought Hadji had quite a good game. I wouldn't have said he was man of the match right enough. I thought he had a good game. But I think Bassey had a good game again at the weekend. Bassey had a good game. I think the whole team played quite well on Saturday. You know, again, they were just doing their usual, hacking everything they doing, hacking away at the players, no going for the ball. I mean, that tackle on Hadji at the start of the second half was a disgrace. You know, he wiped him out nearly. But anyway, I just think the whole team played well at the weekend. As I say, it was a good game. It was a really good game, and we performed well.
Bridgeman, you're a tackling expert, so you want to talk to Amanda about some of the bad tackles that happened at weekend?
Oh, I could talk to the world about that. Some horrendous tackles. I don't know what you guys see when you see it. And my God Almighty, in the view for the bridge, I highlighted 3. Never know the only 3. There was loads and loads of them. And you know, whenever we get poor tackles, let's call them poor tackles, we always seem to have one of the referees that don't have the same thoughts as we have. I think Mr. Beaton should be having a look at himself, and the FA should be having a look at Mr. Beaton. There were some dreadful tackles going on in there. Right in the TV camera, the whole world could see it, what was going on. And they are definite red card events. No, no him. You'll remember way back when we played Hibs at Ibrox, and it was a wee guy's name, a wee Irish boy. Oh, God Almighty, Stokes. And we were he jumps in Tavernier's back. He actually jumped in Tavernier's back and wrestled him to the ground. And you're like, wait a minute. And he gets a yellow card. I mean, that's just nonsense. But anyway, I don't want to digress. Let's go on with it. That's what I think of the tackle. Shocking.
Beginning of the second half, Bridgeman, and obviously the game was, the game became a bit flat. Rangers were, they had lots of control, but no penetration. Did the substitutions of Lundstrom and Roof make a difference to the second half, guys?
I think they lifted the game a bit. I thought Roof had a good game when he came on, and I thought Lundstrom lifted it a wee bit when he came on as well. Pardon me, I thought they lifted the game quite a bit.
I think
Bridgeman.
I was going to say, I think we saw just what we've got with Lundstrom. He's still maybe a yard or so short in both physical and match fitness. But once he gets up to speed, he's going to be an absolute monster of a player for us. It's just brilliant. Just brilliant. There's a couple of wee moves he did, along with others, of course, in short type pass and things like that. And as usual, when you're not quite 100% match fit, it's your last wee short pass that kills you. It's either too short or too sharp or too long. And when it doesn't look good when it goes wrong. And you think, what have I bought here? But no, seriously, I think Lundstrom's going to be a star for us.
I think he's going to be a good player.
Sorry, Port. Lundstrom. The day that even Wright coming on at the time we had you and stuff, it brought energy to the team and kept that level up for us. Personally, for me, I enjoy Roof as a striker. I love strikers like that can run in, ghost, do the wee kind of flicks and all that. So when he came on for me, I was early moon. I love seeing Roof up front for us. And again, getting that goal just it cements his place as well, even more so in their team.
I was going to say something. The Roof took the roof off the stadium.
Aye, it did.
Aye, it was a good goal. It was a cracker. How did his goal when the Europa League only come third? How is that possible? It's one of the best goals I've ever seen getting scored to the halfway line, and it comes third. I don't know. Again, it's UEFA, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Can I give you a step for a hint? It's Rangers.
That tells you all. Aye. I didn't need to work that one out either. But no, I thought it was a great game at the weekend. But as I say, anyway, I'll let you go and get more callers in. But have a good night, guys. Thanks for listening again. Okay.
All right, Amanda. Thanks very much.
We'll just need to keep it going, won't we? Okay.
Yeah, keep it going for the Rangers, Amanda.
Right. Take care. Bye. Bye.
She loves the Rangers, Amanda, Boys, loves the Rangers.
Brilliant bear.
Absolutely.
Just when you touched on Roof's goal, Gary, it was great. Calvin Bassey kept that alive, and for Roof to become alive in that box the way he did, and still managed to get the ball away from the keeper and put it in the corner of the net. Some finish, mate. That's predatory striking. That's awesome striking. But I agree with you. He's an all-round striker to me. Does it inside the box, outside the box, and he can be a fox in the box as well. I really like Kemar Roof, mate. Definitely.
He's my kind of, like I said, I enjoy what. Don't get me wrong, all strikers are good strikers and stuff like that, but I think Roof's one of these kind of athletic ones where he can weave in and out players and get lost his man and stuff like that. So I hope he has a good season for us. I don't really want to see him on the bench too often. Like I said, I think he's really, really prolific for us. So. But don't get me wrong, what a great option to have coming off your bench, isn't it? I mean, bringing on a guy like Roof. The other players must be. I mean, they were already blowing in that game, and then the next minute you bring on Roof and Lundstram. So,
aye, definitely, mate. Yeah, Bridgeman, what's your opinion on Roof, mate? Come on, Roof.
Well, I said it last season. I think he's going to be a brilliant player for us. He already is. Scored some really good goals for us. And fearless, he's absolutely fearless. The only problem you'll get with a person like Roof is that he will get involved in the incidents where it's an automatic yellow card or some. His challenges go a wee bit wild. That time he challenged that goalkeeper. Now he didn't really do anything wrong. He actually put his foot up and got the ball. So that's a game in football. Get the ball. However, being adjudged by someone else is slightly different. So sometimes he needs to be maybe reskilled and not to do that, not to raise your leg away that high, and you're automatically hitting the goalkeeper in the face. Different if you hit him in the shoulder or the torso or something like that, but not the face. So he got himself in a wee bit of trouble because of that. So don't get me wrong, he's a straight red card and he's paid his price. But that's the only thing I find wrong with a person like Roof. He's a wonderful player. And we've seen the likes of the goals he scored. I mean, he scored that fabulous goal from inside his half. And was it the next game he came out in Europe and scored another fabulous goal from about 30 yards? Absolute screamer into the top right-hand corner. Superb. He's a great player.
I gave Ryan Kent, guys, my man of the match against Livingston. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. And I think he's kicked on another level from where he's came from when he first joined Rangers. What's your opinions on him, Gary?
There's not much else you can really say about him. The new Port, I mean, he's flying, isn't he? You can see he's came back. I mean, he keeps seeing an improvement of him in them each game. But see that Real Madrid game. See when he took the ball and he done their players and stuff like that. I was just, that boy is going to go places, isn't he? He's just. I hope he stays with Rangers for a very long time. But he is our standout player, mate. He's got something. I look about the team sometimes, and like Scott Wright had a marvellous game the other day, but I just still feel that Kent's always got that something extra in him. So, but don't get me wrong, that could be developed with Wright. You never know. But I think Kent just seems to be that guy in our team that he does a lot for the team, a lot of running, and he was very unlucky. See, he had a few chances, it just didn't come off for him. But another great performance by him, mate.
Yep, Bridgeman.
Yeah, look, Ryan Kent's tops. He's probably one of the best players that we've got. Skill-wise, is out there. He's a high top graph, wouldn't it? You couldn't draw a graph for it. He's just got these skills. He can go for flat line right up to the very top. Just a wonderful player for us, and he's been a great performer for us. And when it's necessary, he's pulled goals out of the fire. The moves have been brilliant. Like the moves described about the Real Madrid game. There was a number of games he played in the Europe area last season. He's just wonderful, and nothing but praise for Ryan Kent. I do say I thought for the short space of time that he was on, or the shorter space, I thought that Scott outshone him insofar as what he did round about the box. Ryan Kenton's a wonderful player, but you know, I don't think he beat Scott Wright. That's only my opinion, of course. You know,
Yeah.
I thought Scott Wright was excellent.
I've got another caller. I think we've got Luke. How you doing, Luke?
I'm good. Yourselves?
Good to hear you, mate. Thanks very much for calling in. Floor's yours, mate.
Well, it's first of all, it's really good to have the games coming thick and fast. We've had the pre-season and waiting for all the Euros, but now it's every 3 days, big games left, right, and centre. But the first thing I was going to say was just to be back in the stadium for that league game yesterday, the weekend was it was quite something, because a lot of us haven't actually seen most of these players play in front of the fans. And you could just sense, when you got that first goal, that the mood, it would drop, it would come up, and you could see the different ways the players were playing. But then as soon as they got that second, the confidence levels were up, and I think it's just game by game they've got to take it, and the fans will make a huge difference.
Yeah. How was it? How was the atmosphere in the stadium? Look, could you feel it? Was there a buzz in there?
I mean, to be honest, it was quite weird, because you got that real buzz, for the warm up right from the start, and as soon as we got that first goal from, I'd say, the 10th minute to the 80th, it really went quite silent, and then I think it almost gave the players a shock, and it felt like it was pre-season mode. So, I mean, there's less numbers. People are a bit edgy, but as soon as that second goal went in, you could just feel the confidence levels go up. So I think they're going to have to manage this year, when the crowd gets a bit shaky, that the players keep focused, they keep their standards up.
Can I ask you three a question? We've seen a lot of sort of negativity going about in regards to, can this team deliver a title with a full stadium? Can they handle the pressure? They've had some fans in, they've not had a full house yet, but there's a lot of fans in against Livy. Can we put this to bed? This is the myth.
For me, it is, because, like I says, we went out there start the season. We've no failed at the first hurdle, mate. We went out there and beat a team convincingly 3-0. Luke makes a good point about how fans will influence the team this year. I think, like I says, you seen the react. I said at the start of the show, you see the reaction of Hadji when he bangs that goal in. He's right across, and that, like I says, that boy will feed off of us with the energy that we give back. So it's we're going to have our important times as well to try and pull the team at pivotal times if the game's a bit lagging and stuff like that. And it's very hard, I suppose, if you've only got like a half full stadium. But I'm sure when the stadium's full again, the players will respond to it.
Bridgeman?
Well, you've got to look at them, and they've played some fabulous games in front of a full stadium, the same squad, they're virtually the same squad. Admittedly, they're slightly different, or slightly better, or they're more experienced, or whatever. Last season they were just outstanding, just utterly outstanding. I think they'll just tramp on. I think every single one of the players have played in front of big crowds, so it shouldn't be any surprise to them. But it's a big responsibility, the Scottish Premiership, when you're a champion. When you're the champions, everybody wants to murder you, and we saw that Livingston was trying to do that on Saturday. But on your point of we'll no bottle it. I don't see Rangers players bottling anything at all, and I think we saw that on Saturday as well. They just kept going, and they've got some wonderful passes of the ball. And I thought, as I say, Davis and Kamara, outstanding on Saturday. Their passing was just superb, just superb.
What be a sale look? What be a sale look? Is this a myth? This, can this team deliver in front of a full house?
The thing for me is I actually look at it a lot different to most fans, because I'm I don't like to big myself up, but a high standard tennis player, and I look at the external factors when you've got pressures, you know, all the influences that, you know, surround that. And for me, it's all about, you know, when you're used to, you know, trying for something and you want something so much, things get into your head.
Yeah.
As a player, and things in the crowd changes. It's for every sport. So it's not about, sometimes it's just, you know, a person's mentality or the group, or something doesn't go quite well, you shy away, you know, there's little things like that. So I think for me, it's all about confidence. Once that team gets the confidence of winning games under fans, they get used to the pressure of, you know, going to these tough away games, that's it, you know what I mean? You've just got to, once you know, get used to winning the leagues, it's, you know, take it from there.
Yeah. Look, not ask you your opinion. Who stood out for you the weekend, player-wise? Who was your man of the match, and who really showed you that, you know, they've upped their game from last season?
It's kind of a tough question because it's the first game. I didn't think any of the players had a really outstanding game. I think we controlled it. I mean, Kent was very lively. I think Scott Wright, I mean, I have to say Scott Wright, because he was always positive going forward. He was the one that put the scruff by the neck and got us that second goal, which, you've got to be honest, we really needed. So I'd have to say him, because he changed the game.
Right, fair point. I think we've got another caller. I think we've got Ian. How are we doing, Ian? Are you there, Ian? He's getting on his shy, I think. Nope, right.
Back in 2 minutes, mate.
Yep. Bridgman, you're saying Glenn Kamara and you stood out for you the weekend again. She just kicked on from last season.
I think you watch the way he passes the ball and the way he holds himself. He's even better than he was last season. He's just, I think there's something about that guy. When he first came, was it 2.5 years ago? And there was talk about he's just going to come in the summer, sign a contract, and Dundee says, "Oh, we want some money. Okay, we'll give you whatever it was, 50 grand, and we'll take him the new." And he's never looked back, the boy. And he's getting better and better and better. And you see him playing in the Euros as an international player. We couldn't ask for better. The boy's just a tremendous player and well thought of as far as Rangers are concerned. Well thought of. And I thought he had some outstanding moves for the weekend there. Outstanding. No matter what they did, they couldn't stop him. And he had a really good tackle against the guy. That I think the guy ended up going off and injured himself. Because he certainly never caught him with studs or anything like that. So I think the guy hurt himself, to be honest. No, he's fearless, and I think he's good. Smashing player. I'm glad he's on your side anyway, let's put it that way.
Hey Gary, what do you think of Glenn Kamara?
Oh, amazing, mate. I was watching the kind of highlights back the day of the game, and there was times that Glenn Kamara is able to actually stand still and pass the ball about. I mean, he's that good. Like the boys, nobody was coming near him because they knew that they were going to get done off him. So another brilliant performance, another important player for us, mate. I think he's one of these guys that we need to keep a hold of. I think if we can keep this squad that we've got right now, if we can keep this the full season, I'll be a very happy man. And Port, can I give you just a wee shout out to Golson, because some of his diagonal passing in that game the other day, I mean, right on the money as well. I mean, another brilliant performance with him.
And of course, mate, another clean sheet.
Aye, brilliant, mate, brilliant.
Yep. I've got another caller. Is this Ian? We've got Ian again.
This is Ian. Right.
How you doing, Ian? The floor's yours, mate. What's your point, son?
Well, I've been reading all the comments about the Champions League. A lot of folk kind of scared of certain teams and things like that. And my comment was about a pit down below was, did we ever think we would have a Europa League section like we did last season? And the answer to me would be no, because I didn't think we would do as good as we did. And I thought we'd done fantastic. And I don't think we're getting into fear, because our players are played against big teams. We've beat them, drew them. And I think Malmo is a bit of a tough test, but I think after Malmo, if we get them out the road, I'm not saying it's easier, but I think the game will come and we'll take them on, and we could win a few games through, and I think we could reach the group stages. That's what I think, anyway.
Aye, very good. What did you think of the weekend's game? What did you think of the game against Livingston, mate?
Oh, it was absolutely fantastic, but about 9:30 that night, I was stuffed with jam tarts. No, I mean, I was eating with the boxes. I was stuffed. But the game against Livingston, I mean, that Ryan Kent was flying. I mean, he's just something else, that guy. I mean, he was turning himself inside out. He was that quick. And I think that goal with Wright was superb volley into that corner. And I think for 20 minutes into the second half, it sort of died off a bit. And mind you, they were parking the bus a wee bit. I think they got anyone to park for Hamilton and put the bus there. So, but we brought them down, won comfortable in the end. Quite chuffed. Great start to the season. And I'm looking forward to the next game on Tuesday night, is it?
Tuesday night, mate. Yep. Gary, what do you think of Ian's points in regards to Malmo, mate?
I must come in.
I know. Hi, Ian. It's Gary.
Sorry.
The points you were making, mate. You're right. Rangers don't have anything to fear. The only thing that's probably shown me in the kind of Europa League for us is that when, like, the Slava Prague, once we get to that kind of stage in the competition, I always feel that we're maybe missing another couple of quality players just to get us by these rounds for me, mate. So, like, the Champions League, Malmo, I mean, that's what, nearly 10 years ago we played them. And they beat us there the two legs. Granted that we had a couple of players sent off that night.
You didn't really have a decent team then.
Aye, I know. Compared to now, I know. So I think what I say is the game will take care of itself. The only good thing I think for this year is that Rangers don't have to fear any away goal rule or anything like that. It's basically it's a free for all, so it means our attacking players can go for it. So which I think will help us because we are a very attacking team. So what I say is we'll wait and see. But for me, this round, I don't think we've got anything to fear. It's the next bit. I think getting into that, getting into the group stages, that's where we'll definitely be on the money.
Aye, but I think if we take care of Malmo, I'm not saying easy, but if we play them and beat them by a good result, I don't think we've anybody to fear up until the group stages. You know what I mean? Honestly, I don't.
Yep. I'm just going to bring, Ian, I'm just going to bring Alec Kelly in to conversation. Alec, what's your thoughts on the weekend's game, mate?
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Bridgeman. And Ian there is that. I thought it was
Alex.
Good evening, Bridge. I thought it was a very professional performance, Pot. It was, but we played within ourselves because of obviously the changes that he made. But it was just ticking it off, getting it out the road, and then look forward again. But no Oxford tonight again. I'm wondering whether he's on a Nurkic tour to Blackpool or an 18 to 30 in Ibiza.
He's in Glasgow, Alec. I was speaking to him today. I was with him today.
He's filming for the Batman. Do you know someone?
He's up seeing his mother, you know. Okay, just to let you know.
He's a bit of a joker, though, eh?
So who stood out for you weekend, Alec? Who was your main standouts, man of the match, etc.? Favourite goal?
I agree with you, Paul. I thought Ryan Kent was excellent. He's kicked himself onto a new level. The confidence, the player within him is starting to come out in fruition. Listen, you could look all round the park. I thought Hadji started the game very well. I thought Scott Wright was outstanding when he came on. And obviously, I'm a big fan of Lundstrom in the middle of the park. I think he's going to be very good for us going forward. But it was a very polished performance, I thought.
What was your favourite goal? Sorry, Alex, what was your favourite goal? I was going to ask. What was the goal of the day for yourself?
Scott Wright's, I would say, pal. I did like Hadji's finish, the way he killed the couple of defenders with feigning the shot. But Scott Wright's finish was exceptional. You know, the way he caught it in the kind of half volley and swerved it into the far post. He says he's been working with Defoe, and he's going to learn a lot of tricks and finishes off of Defoe if that's how he started.
Do you know what? When I looked at Hadji's goal, I thought, because we Hadji so far has got goal of the season, and then Scott Wright curls that one into the corner, and I went, not anymore. I get what you mean, mate. Aye, definitely. But the team for me, in my opinion, Alec, earlier on, I says, I think they had one eye on the Malmo game, and I don't think we had to play beyond the level we played to beat Livingston. Remember, this is a team we found tough guys to, put away at times, home and away, but we absolutely blew them away. GB?
100%, Paul. It was right for the get-go. You could only see one team in it. I think some of the stats in that game, you'll be able to tell me, you're the stat man, but is it no something like 80% possession we had in the full game? So, I mean, just brilliant, absolutely brilliant for the team, mate. A great professional performance.
Yep, and the only 2 shots in goal, mate. Well, it's time for Bridgeman's dance, guys. So, Bridgeman, get your tap shoes on. We're going to have a tune.
Team of all. We support the Glasgow Rangers, do not Ibrox is the place, and we will follow in the championship race. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. It's true, the magic boys in blue are the best team in the land. You've got to queue and govern to get a ticket for the stand. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. We've spent a lot of money on great players, yes, that's true. But the Rangers fans deserve the best from the boys in royal blue. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. The story, it was dismal, full of gloom. Now we're building an extension for the Ibrox trophy room. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. In Europe we'll be travelling by land and sea and plain. The teddy bears have got the bears and we're on the march again. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm knackered. I'm
Are you
absolutely
knackered? How was that, mate?
Yes, it's true. The boys in blue are just magic on. I've been dancing around the kitchen, skating all over the scullery.
Super.
It's a right wee toe tapper.
It certainly is. Well, obviously we understand, guys, there's a big, massive game in the corner, Champions League qualifier against Malmo. So we're going to build up to that. Gary, any thoughts on Malmo? What's your opinion on them? Are they a force to be reckoned with?
Definitely, Port. I think this is for what I was watching. The manager was saying today. We've clearly done our homework on them. I think they're sitting joint top of the league now, so they're obviously a couple of games into their season. So and there's one of these teams into it now that when you watch the Champions League, that team's a constant team that's in the group stages. You always see them pop up. They always seem to get these kind of big results sometimes after some of the bigger teams. We've beaten them in that, so it's a game we've got to be careful with. But as Ian was saying, we shouldn't fear it. We should be going in there with confidence with how we have performed in Europe overall.
Alec?
The app that I've got, Port Bear, with Bet365, allows me to actually watch their games. So I've watched both games with Helsinki, and they conceded 3 goals against a very average Helsinki team. I mean, they thought they had them tucked away when they went, I think it was 2-1 up, and they conceded right away, which brought it back to 4-3. And I tell you, they were hanging on the last 20 minutes, because see, with the away goal being cut out, that game would have extra time. But I don't see a major problem, to be honest with you. I had a wee swatch at their league there. They actually didn't play this weekend, guys, so the Swedish FA has probably done them a wee favour by allowing them some extra recovery period for the last game. That's how much that they've got an affiliation with their FA. I couldn't see your FA doing that for us. But they actually, because they didn't play at the weekend, Djurgården went to the top of the league. So they're sitting at a point behind them. But they're about 12, 13 games into their season. I think it was it Southside alluded to the fact that they actually played about 8 games before the Euros kicked in. And then they did a downtime period. So they're only back in their league structure about 4 or 5 games into the season again. So it's not as if they're like 13 games ahead is. They're only like 3 or 4 games ahead of us. But I think the quality, the depth of the pool that we've got, whatever team Stevie G picks, I think should be good enough to beat them out there and at Ibrox.
Luke, your opinion, mate?
I'll just give my last thoughts before I drop out.
Okay.
It's an interesting one because, as you say, I mean, the Helsinki match, I think we all thought they'd beat them convincingly, but I mean, a lot of their sort of media's talking them up. I've heard another stat that they've done the same as us. The last 2 seasons, they've won 4 qualifiers in the Europa League, so they clearly know how to get, the job done with the qualifiers. But I think, if we don't get complacent, we play our best, I think we'll be fine.
Airport.
I'm Bridgeman.
Sorry, Bridgeman, your opinion, mate?
Hey, buddy, yeah. But I think, to be perfectly honest, I think I was at the last game we played them at Ibrox, and I blessed them. Did we not get beat? Did they not beat us 1-0 or something? I don't know if anyone remembers it. I think.
Yep.
I think we lost to them, and I think most of the Swedish teams are. They're up for it. They're tough, and I mean physically tough. and they take no prisoners. So we've seen that a number of times. Swedish and Danish and Norwegian teams, the Scandinavians are really, really good competitive teams in general. So I think we're in for a wee bit of a battle. I think we've got enough players. I think we've got a great manager and a great coaching staff, and they should be able to guide us through. All we need now is the players to stand up to anything that happens to us and just see our way through it. I'm quite sure we will. I don't know if we'll come away with a victory over there, but I'm quite sure we'll beat them at Ibrox. But a draw would be fine for me. A 0-0 would be fine. Obviously, I'd want to win. If I could get it, I'd take a win. But I just don't know. These games are tough, very tough games.
Right, we've got obviously the press of the day for the gaffer in regards to the Malmo game. So if you put yourselves and mute everybody, and let's hear from Stephen Gerrard.
What do you know about the Malmo team, and what do you think about the team?
I think they're a very impressive team, very strong, very fit, physically strong, work extremely hard for the manager, and obviously focused on the last two Champions League games against Helsinki a lot. And yes, I've been really impressed by them. So it's going to be a big challenge for us over the two games, but one that we're very excited and looking forward to.
Stephen, you mentioned the challenge as well, just for you. In terms of the journey Rangers have been on, obviously winning the league is a huge step and a huge hurdle to overcome. What is that next hurdle to come over to symbolise that Rangers are back to where they were before?
It's about the next game. We will try and get over as many hurdles that are put in front of us. We want to try and be the most successful team we can be and the best version of ourselves over the course of a season. The next hurdle in the way from a European point of view is Malmo, obviously, and it's going to be a tough challenge for us, but we're a good team as well. We're a team littered with quality. We've got to deal with the first 90 minutes first and foremost and try and set it up for Ibrox next week. Obviously, it's been well documented. We're going to be missing certain players and certain individuals, so that adds to the challenge as well. But, we're going over to Malmo in a good place, in confident mood, and we'll go and try and do a good job.
What do you know about Malmo as a team?
I've just answered that question about 45 seconds ago.
Okay, so do you see yourself as favourites?
Last time I checked, I'm a football manager, not a bookmaker. If you want to look what the odds are, just find the website. There's many of them out there. There's one on my top here. If you want to find out some decent odds on the game, have a look at this.
Have the changes to the away goals rule created any change to how you're going to approach this game?
I suppose you've got to take it into consideration. Obviously, it is a big change as far as we're concerned. So it does make, a slightly different in terms of your mentality, how you approach it. Obviously, don't want to give too much away 24 hours before the game, but it is something we've discussed as a staff and mentioned to the players. But they're obviously very much aware of that anyway. But yeah, your decisions within game, how aggressive you are, especially in that first leg, it could come into consideration.
As a player, you obviously won the Champions League, but what would it mean to you in your managerial journey to take this Rangers team into the group stages of the Champions League?
Well, it's something that's been a target since day one, but we always know it was going to be a process, a patient one. I think the first challenge was always to get European football back from a Europa League point of view, and the challenge here was to always finish top of the league at some point. We managed to do that in spectacular form last year, and that's given us the opportunity to qualify. There's still a lot of work to do and some big challenges ahead. Malmo, first and foremost, we've got a lot of respect for. They've got big quality in the team, as well as a really strong mentality in terms of the group and the team. I don't think they're a team full of ego. They all work extremely hard for each other. And in the right areas of the team, they've got big quality. The captain's a fantastic player. Number 9's a fantastic player. So we'll have to be right at it over the two legs to get the opportunity to get into the playoff first and foremost. So getting into the Champions League is not really the focus right now. It's trying to get into that playoff round.
What would you say is the strengths and weaknesses of the Malmo team?
My focus is very much on my team and the strengths of my team and what I need to do to get the right result. I've watched a lot of Malmo in the last week, 10 days, and I've been impressed with
their team ethic, the work rate, the fitness levels. They're obviously well into the season now and have started the season extremely strong. So they're obviously going to be a confident team. I think the way they play, they can obviously play with a back four, but also change to a back five. So we have to be ready to whatever challenge comes our way on the night. I like the way they have a lot of technical players in the forward positions who play around Kollak and try and be inventive around the box. So I think they're an aggressive team, especially at home. I noticed that against Helsinki, they came right out the blocks and pressed extremely high and were aggressive. So we're going to have to be really good in possession. We're going to have to be really good at playing through the press. And at the right times, we need to make sure that we can go and hit Malmo's back four, because if they're going to come at us very aggressive and go for that approach, we know where the spaces are to go and hit them.
Morning, Stephen.
Morning.
Rangers have an incredibly busy and exciting schedule ahead of them in terms of Champions League and also league games as well. How important is it for yourself and the squad to keep that mentality of one game at a time and not look too far ahead?
Yeah, I think we were certainly in that zone last year in terms of not focusing too far ahead or getting too carried away. Just worry about what's in front of you and focus on the next job. We're very much used to this schedule. There's certainly no complaints or excuses. We are used to games coming thick and fast, and it's the reason why, I've tried to build a strong squad full of talented players and volume in each position, because it's impossible to ask the same 11, 12 or 13 players to go every single game. I obviously picked a team at the weekend with a view to this game. We've got 3 or 4 suspensions and 1 or 2 that are not going to make it. So we're quite bare and thin going into the first game. Again, that's not an excuse. It's reality in the way it is, and we'll get on with that. And we'll have more than enough to go out there and put a good team out who want to take the game to Malmo and get a positive result.
Since you first took over at Rangers, the team have been absolutely exceptional in European competition. What do you think it is about this level that brings out the best in your squad?
Well, I think every player has a big motivation to test themselves in Europe against the best teams, the best players, the best coaching staffs. Every player on the planet watches Champions League and Europa League. There's such exciting competitions, and you want to go and create memories for yourself and your family for the rest of your life. So, I agree with what you say. We've been on some fantastic journeys so far. But this one, hopefully, is going to be even more exciting because we've got the opportunity to play in a higher competition. We need to go and earn the right, first and foremost, to be in that competition. But that's a really tough but exciting challenge for everyone connected. So it's one we're really looking forward to.
Well, your gaffer, guys. What did you think of that, Gary?
Paul, he always speaks so well. He's in his way.
Just got across here.
Aye, the board, mate.
Yep. Hey, Carol, how you doing, mate?
Doing all right, Port. Good interview, wasn't it?
It was excellent, mate. What do you think of our gaffer? How did you think his interview went?
The man's class. He's got very quick brain, hasn't he? That must have upset Sky when he pulled up Unibet. A wee word of caution. I don't know if you know, especially you, because I heard you saying it earlier on about Bet365. That's online, isn't it? Gambling.
Yeah.
Don't use your bank account. No, I'm not being funny, but
yep.
I know somebody that works in a bank, very close to me actually, and they do look at what goes out and where it's going, because there's been a few people down here with problems because of it. When they went in to remortgage your house and things.
All right. Information.
A word of caution.
Okay.
I just don't like. I wouldn't like to see anybody getting fingers burnt for something stupid. Like a £5 bet.
Yeah.
Right. Another thing, the game on Saturday was good, but I thought we were a bit lackadaisical now and again. But then again, you've got to expect that because of midweek and the team it was at. Bassey looks good. Can he cross a ball? And I thought Big Itten would have been playing. But then again, I like Big Itten, so I thought the wee guy, Sakala, it wasn't the game for him. Because he had no place to run to. There was no boys getting to him anyway. And the only other thing is, if Sitton does play tomorrow night,
they have to make sure that they're putting boys in. Because the other times he's come on as subs, they stop putting our boys, you know.
Yeah.
So everything all right with you guys?
Brand new, mate. Absolutely brand new. Yep.
It's bloody it's freezing down here. It really is. Up on the fire.
What do you think, Malmo? How do you think we'll fare against them, mate?
It's a difficult one, and I mean, I don't know much about Swedish football. You know, I know they beat us 10 years ago, but I never seen it. So, but 10 years ago would take a long time. You know, we're a better team than we were. Maybe 15 years ago, we're even a better team than that. You know, maybe 20 years ago, we're a better team than that. Now we play football now all the time. Even when we're playing bad, we still play football. And as Ox says, if Rangers play football, Rangers win.
Right,
and I agree with that.
Aye, me too, mate.
What's your tip for tomorrow night? What do you think? The score? I've got mine on at the bookies already. I'm going one each and 3-0 for us. No one each for us, one each, you know.
Aye,
I hope that's no 5, Carol.
What?
I hope that's no Bet365. They'll be watching.
No, I use William Hill's because it's blue. I'll tell you, I was driving last. When was it? When was that Muppet Mob playing last week? Thursday. I was driving by the Irish pub, Irish club. It's a wee sort of rebel den, and they're coming out with their taps on, you know, greeting as usual. You know, they've done it for a season, plenty of practice. And I looked at them, and they were all fat. And then I looked down at me, and I says, "Oh my God, thank God I'm no one of them. I would look like a Buddha stuck inside hula hoops, the way I'm putting on weight." See, they're bloody rotten. I watched the game, a bit of the game on Saturday night and all, but only for comedy relief, you know. Goalkeepers diving 2 minutes too late. Hopeless, sir. Hopeless. Well, thank you for taking the call. I'm ready to go off and listen to the rest of the show, because I can hear it, you know then. Good night, lads. Have a good evening tomorrow night, and have a wee drink before it settled the nerves, and then screaming ball at your telly like I'm going to do. Good night.
Right, Carol. Good night, mate. Thanks very much for your call. All right. Listen, lads. Just on the Livi game, are we mistaken controlling the game for taking the foot off the gas? Because like I did touch on this earlier on. I think we played to a level to beat Livingston with one eye on Malmo. So, you know, we didn't need 100% performance to beat Livingston. You know, so why are we mistaking that? Are we mistaken for controlling the game for, you know, taking the foot off the gas?
I probably jumped the gun with that one, because I said that when Hadji scored, it looked like we kind of sat back, but maybe like you're saying, they're making that point. It probably wasn't it wasn't us being complacent. It was just us maybe just like this is controlling the game. It wasn't taking it like says the foot off the gas. It was just basically controlling it. And you made a good point earlier saying why would Rangers, if they're in total control of that game, then why would we want our team running hard and knocking themselves out, maybe causing themselves an injury? Control the game, see the game out, get that second goal, and the game's finished basically. And technically that's what they've done, isn't it? As soon as Wright's goal went in, and what a goal it was, that basically finished the game off right at the right time, because I think that was at 79 minutes. As soon as that second goal's in at that time, you could probably say Rangers are going to clearly see the game out. Alex, what do you think?
Come off you, mate. No, I agree with you there, Gary. I thought it was a controlling performance in the aspect that we had a lot of the ball, and it was just the dogged defence that Livingston put up. You know, as Bridgeman said, and he's kind of surmising it again, that they're just got to put 10 men behind the ball, and that's quite difficult to break down. So we've just got to pass the ball about and try and move them out of position to find pockets of space for others to go into. And we've got to either pass through them or run at them. That's the only way you can beat a defence like that, because it's very hard to put balls into the box and get space enough to, you know, finish one off. So we just have to be patient. It's something we're going to have to learn. because this is the style of football that Gerrard likes to play, and the players that he's got, to implement that system. But listen, you gave us 3-0, a clean sheet, 3 points after a winning start. I would have that all season, guys. Really would.
Yep, agree. We've got Alex for Wishaw on the call. How you doing, Alex, mate?
Good evening, Port, Gary, Alex, Bridgeman. How you doing?
It's broken.
You're right, Bridgeman. He's broke it.
Sorrow.
Alex, you've been on pre-season, mate.
Sorry?
You've been on your pre-season. You've been running up the sand dunes.
No, it was great to get back to the game there. Dead excited to get into the game there when you thought on Saturday. Thought it was a very professional job we'd done, to be quite truthful. A wee bit of all, we took the foot off the gas and that. But in general, that's a great result, 3-0. You'll take that all day. And once they came out there to try the last 20 minutes, that's when we opened them up. I was right in front of the tackle. I was sitting there at Sandy Jardine stand, right in front of the tackle and Hadji and that was a bit naughty, I must admit, because he was right in a game there. Unfortunately, that's kind of put him to the wayside there. But I believe he's in the pool for tomorrow night, so it might not be as bad as we're all expecting.
And what about Malmo, Alec? What do you think? What sort of danger do they possess? Do you think is it a 60-40 tie? Is it a 50-50 tie? How are you feeling yourself, mate, on the tie?
Oh, I'm confident on it. I'm confident. I says what you call it to Oxford last week. I was talking to him. You've got to remember, I think they're 10 or 11 games into their season, so they've definitely, what do you call it, they've got their fitness levels up. But to me, Rangers, what do you call it, in Europe, over the last 3 years, we can go away from home and we can compete with the best of them. And I expect us to get a result. And we'll finish the game off at Ibrox the following week. I've no doubts about that. No doubts about it at all.
Bridgeman, can I ask you your opinion, mate, on Malmo?
Sorry.
I was saying that earlier. Look, they're a tidy team, and most Scandinavian teams at this time of the year are good teams. We've seen Ram Mob across the city falling down against the Scandinavian side. It's dead easy to do. We have to be good. The players that we've got need to be playing well, on top of their form as much as possible. Don't give an inch. That's what we need to do. And I'm quite sure that Rangers have got the ability, and they've got the manager who can inspire them, and the coaching staff that can carry them forward. And I'm sure that they've got a really good squad. They are a really, really good squad. And squads stick together. And as long as they stick together, they'll get through that. That's what I think. I think we'll get there. We might get a victory, but no dead sure. But certainly I will beat them at Ibrox for sure. But it'd be great to get a victory over there. Great.
Port, can I ask you your opinion on the Malmo game? I mean, do you think, like, for the last time we played them to now, do you think that we've got a far better squad going into a game like this?
I think our squad, Gary, this year in particular, I think we were all talking a few weeks ago in here, and lots of the great callers who come on or gave their opinions on, we thought the squad was top heavy in certain places. I know there is still a few at the door, but I think the remaining squad that's there, this is probably the best squad I've seen, Gary, maybe since our 9-in-a-row team. And I know that's high praise, and people out there maybe think I'm being a bit OTT, and say this team's not done nothing in the Champions League, etc. But what I've seen under Gerrard's tutelage, and then what I've seen in the Europa League, it fills me with absolute pride, mate. Absolute pride. And I had a wee look at Malmo today. They're 13 games into their season. They've conceded 16 goals but scored 31. You know what I mean? They play a 4-2-3-1, but that sometimes becomes a 4-3-3. They've got a guy, Kolak, that the gaffer was talking about. He's their main target man, and they play with like 2 number 10s near him. Kolak scored 10 goals so far this season, and the 2 wingers have got 11 between them. Their main man in midfield's Anders Christensen. He's got 5 goals and 7 assists. So they've got players that can hurt you. But Alec Kelly touched on it. When they're playing this very advanced football, there is holes at the back. They leave massive gaps at the back, where I think any team that opens up against Rangers mate, in my opinion, we absolutely destroy them. If they try and play against us the way that I've seen them playing against Helsinki, etc., we'll open them up, mate. So the answer to the question is, I think this is a cracking squad, mate, and a better squad than I've seen certainly in a good number of years.
Do you think this will be a good game for Fashion then? For me, I think his pace and power going forward should really hurt them then.
We all know Fashion Sakala's get afterburners, mate, and because they play such a high line, we've got guys like Goldson, Tavernier, Barisic, who can play beautiful diagonals in behind. So if they try and push up, I agree with you, mate. Fashion Sakala is going to get plenty of grass to run into. Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely.
With yourself, Alex, what do you think, man?
That's quite a good summation there, Bart. Quite a wee valued intake into their team. I didn't look at them that closely, but I enjoyed watching the game. They play an open, expansive type football, but you're right, they leave a lot of gaps at the back. I've got a wee feeling that Itten might play instead of Sakala. I think Sakala starting on the weekend there and then starting against Madrid, it might come a wee bit, too soon for him. I can see he's playing the Itten up front to try and hold the ball with Kent and Wright running at them at the wings and using the kind of space in behind. If we can get the guys running at that back line, I think we can take them. I was going to say, listen, we've played 45 games in Europe under Gerrard. We've only lost 6. We've played far better teams than Malmo. We've went toe-to-toe with Benfica. We beat Galatasaray. We beat Porto, Young Boys, Feyenoord. Malmo shouldn't be a threat for us, guys. See if we'd get any, ambition of qualifying for Champions League, we should be going out there and be confident in our own ability. Take your game to them and prove who the better team is over the 2 legs.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm going to ask you a wee question, guys. A whole lot of these. Gavin touched on it, and it's regards, the aggregate, the away goals rule. Does this have effect on ties? Less of a major effect on ties now from on? Bridgeman?
Yes, it will have an effect on it. Not in the shall I say, mathematical sense, but it will have an effect psychology. So when a team goes away, for instance, Rangers go away and score a goal, then they know themselves that team's going to have to double their efforts in order to minimise how many goals they're going to lose against us at their own home. So these are the kind of things that matter. Whereas now it won't matter if they go in full one each. It doesn't really matter. It's a draw. It's not a draw with advantages. It's just a draw, So I think it will have an impact on the psychological side of things, but the mathematical side now.
Alex,
Vibisho or myself?
Oh, good point. Alex Vibisho, mate.
That's a good point, yeah. I think the game's now a wee bit more defensive because it was away from home and that we're liable to score a goal. And if it had been the 2 goals away from home, it certainly helped us in the Europa right through. So I think it'll be a more cagey affair. And I wouldn't be surprised if Scott Arfield comes in the middle of the park, because you're losing Kamara, you're losing Roof. They're already, what do you call it, suspended.
Yeah.
Balogun's also suspended, so Vic Hollander will come in for him, obviously. But I think maybe Arfield maybe get in the middle of the park here with Lumsden, Stevie Davis, and Aribo. And I think up front you'll have Kent and maybe, what do you call it, Fashion. That's the kind of team I'd play.
So who's your back 4, Alec?
It's got to be everybody except for, what do you call it, Hollander will get in there and Big Boyle will go back in for Bassey. Alan McGregor will come back. Yeah. But I've got a funny feeling Scott Arfield, with the experience he's got, I know he's, what do you call it, people saying he's a fringe player and that, but this will be for experience in here tomorrow night. And I might be wrong, by the way. I've been wrong 10 times before, but I think that'll be it to steady the middle of the park up. Because this goal away from home, as they've done away with now, that was the one for us, really. For away from home, you were very good. at scoring a goal. As you know yourselves, over the last 3 years, so a bit more cagey. And I think we'll maybe just sneak it 1-0 tomorrow night.
Cool. Alec Kelly?
I agree with Alec to an extent. I think it encourages negative football. And the reason why I'm saying that is because watching that game there last week, there was about 20 minutes to go and it was 2 each. Right? It was 4-3 in aggregate for Malmo. Malmo just camped in their own half. They weren't interested in scoring another goal because they knew they were through. You know, so for me, I think that's why the rule changed in the first place. I also think that I think there'll be a lot of draws over 2 legs, and that encourages another extra 30 minutes and possibly penalties. I don't think that'll be good for the players going forward, returning back to their own leagues, having to play 120 minutes and possible penalties. So you could well see a lot of injuries getting picked up because of the extra 30 minutes. But I just think we'll be too strong for them over the course of the 2 legs.
Gary Bell?
I thought that Alex Favishi kind of picks a similar team. I think they're going to put. I think you will find it because of their suspensions and stuff like that. I think you will find that there's a good chance that Arfield will get in the squad. Just for what the manager's saying, he was saying that in the presser that if they come hard at them, then they know the spaces. So for me, that would tell you that he will probably play a team with pace and control. So I would imagine it's got to be Tav, Golson, Helander, Barisic, McGregor in goal, then Davis, Arfield, Lundstrom, Hadji, Kent, Fashion.
What's your score for tomorrow night?
I think it'll be 2-1 Rangers.
Very good. Good result. Bridgeman, you want to give your teammate and your prediction for the score?
I think it's much like the guys have been saying. So the back four's got to back four and the goalkeeper, providing that they're available. They'll pick themselves with McGregor in goals and Helander definitely taking over at the left side of the central defensive area, and Borna Barisic back in at left back. Now, you would normally just say Kamara, Davis, and another at the left side of the midfield. But I think I would like to see Lundstrom in there. So I would say Lundstrom, Davis, and Kamara. That's what I would put in there. And up front, I would. Sorry?
Kamara suspended, mate.
Oh, right, so he's unavailable. There you are. And so it would be a Aribo then. We'll get Aribo in there. And this is only for me. And then it would be Kent. And if I can, I would play Eaton. And Kent and Wright. Kent, Eaton and Wright would be my problem.
Alec Kelly, your team and your score, mate?
Oh, 1-0 for me.
1-0 a Bridgeman. I thought you were going to shock us there.
I would agree with that team. Bridgeman just picked there. I think we'll go with our usual back four with Helander next to Golson, with Tav and Barisic, obviously with McGregor in goal. Davis in the middle of the park and Aribo left with Kent, Eaton and Wright up front for me, and I'm going for a 3-1 victory for the Rangers.
That's a great shout, mate. Great shout. My team's pretty much the same as yourselves in Bridgeman. I've went for McGregor in goal, Tap at right back, Golson, Helander, Borna, Lundstrom, Davis, Aribo, Hadji, Eaton and Kent. That's the team I've went for. If obviously we're waiting on to see Hadji's fitness, if he's going to pull through, if he knocks as bad as we think it is, or it's not as bad as we think it is. If not, I think Wright will take that position. But I think that's pretty much we're all more or less singing off the same song sheet in regards to the squad. I think it brings a lot of strength. The back five, who are getting clean sheets for fun. I think that takes care of itself. Davis and Lundstram will be the enforcers in there, and obviously everything dictated through Davis. He's been the main pivot. Everything will come through him. Lundstram will get forward, and Aribo will bring his magic, his spider legs, as we've known to become him. And Ryan Kent just does what Ryan Kent does, guys. And obviously, if Hadji seems to play his best football in Europe for me. I think he's been an absolute showman at times, and I always remember the Braga game where he absolutely stood out. But he seems to play his best football. And the reason I've waiting for it in is, I think it was Gary mentioned earlier on, or might have been Alex, Sakala started the last 2 games, and I think that's one of the reasons that Cedric Idden's been held back. I think they want him fully fit and ready to rock and roll. He's got 3 goals in pre-season, guys, so he's confident. So that's why I went for that team, guys. Yeah, mate, yeah.
I don't think Sakala's ready for Champions League, to be honest with you. His performance at the weekend there, he was quite subdued. And even when he got the chance to run forward, he was outpaced by these players, and he's quite a fast-wee player. But they managed to block him out. And that would happen to him all the time against some of the quality at Champions League level. And no offence to anyone, I don't think Sakala... I'd bring him on second half if we got a chance. Bring him on, give him a chance to play at that level. But I don't know if he's ever played at that level, mate. So maybe I'm doing the guy a disservice.
Well, that was going to be my next question, Bridgeman. Will this squad and the new players brought in rise to this level? Now, every question we've asked this team, whether it be domestically, Europa League, where you're getting through the group stages to the last 32, to the last 16. Have this squad got the ability to go that other step so that we can hear this Champions League music in our stadium, which is absolutely fantastic? Can these guys make the next step, troops? Gary Bell?
For me, Port, I'm going to be brutally honest, and I'll get probably done in for it, but I think it's touch and go still for us. I think we'll get through this round, but it's the next round I can't more worry about, mate.
Alec Kelly?
I share the concerns, Gary, a wee bit, because we're stepping into the unknown, but we're Rangers supporters, we've got to back our team, we've got to trust our team. As I say, that record that Gerrard's got in Europe, 6 losses out of 45 is incredible. We've got a hungry team there that's desperate to, improve and desperate to get to that next level. We've got a manager that's, he's trying to give every support that he can. Everything's been put in place for us to get to that Champions League stage. So it's over to the players now. Show a bit of bottle. Be strong on the ball and don't be intimidated with the crowd and what have you, because we're all pulling for these, and it's massive financially. See if we qualify for this Champions League, guys. When you're talking upwards of £30 million, that could be a new signing coming in, and then we go in and kick on to win the league again. They're another £30-40 million. It's all about getting to next levels now and giving ourselves the opportunity. So, yes, I share the concerns, Gary, but I back your team 100%, mate.
Here, Bridgeman?
Oh, yeah, 100% agree with that. No problem at all. But the difference I've got with that opinion is at the end of it, when if indeed we do get through and we get to that point where we get a nice big pot of money, I want the Rangers club to pay off the debt. If possible, get the debt down. And next season, if we win the championship, next season we're straight into the Champions League, more money. And so it will go on. But at the present moment, we might have a big pot of debt because of the COVID thing and no fans in the stadium and all the rest of the nonsense that goes with it. I don't know what the debts are. We still like to see the books coming out. Don't get me wrong, we're not skinting totally because we're buying players and it should be okay that way. But I'd like to see the debt coming down. That's all. Every season, we're talking about 14 to 15 million pounds in debt. We've run at a loss. Time to stop the loss. Do what we need to do and get it done.
Hey, Alex Wishaw?
I totally agree with it's a fair comment with Bridgeman there about the finances, but Aye, the task's going to be tougher. Obviously, what do you call it? It's a step up. But you've got to remember, we're a very good team. These teams will not be too happy to play Rangers either. They'll be doing their homework and all. Plus, what do you call it? Get Malmo out the road first. And we'll see what happens with the next round and that. But I've no doubt, Rangers Football Club are a right good European team and all. So, I honestly think we'll be there in the mire. And I honestly think we'll qualify for the Champions League. And that's me being a Rangers supporter and all. Like, you maybe think I'm through my blue-tinted glasses and that, but I'm not. I really can see the strides that we've came. He's built a squad there. You can see it. It's unbelievable there. And there's guys to come in. And once, hopefully, Marella's back as well, we'll definitely be there. We'll not be, but I honestly think we'll get a result. That's me personally.
You know, Alec, I feel quite sorry for, forgive me for interrupting there. I really feel sorry for Hadji. I think Hadji, the way he was playing that first 25 minutes or so, even with the niggling injury, I thought he was absolutely excellent. Best I've seen him playing in a long time. And he looked a part. And I thought he's setting himself up for a really good night against Malmo. I don't know. I know he's away over there with the club. I don't know if he's going to get a start, obviously. And I wouldn't start him simply because of his injury. But he may be fit enough to come on for a wee half hour. And I'd like to see him doing that if he can. Because that was a quality goal he scored, by the way. His skills getting that goal, brilliant, just brilliant. Hats off to him.
He's definitely skills. He's unbelievable. And you're right there what you were saying. I thought he'd been an automatic choice. As I say, I was right in front of that tackle. And it looked, what do you call it, nasty. I don't know how quick he shook it off or what. He looked as if he was right on his game and all. Because he took the two defenders out right away. Instead of selling shots. He's built for European football, that wee boy, so he is a miss, but you never know with these doctors and all that now, how quick they could put him through and that. But I still think we've got the players anyway to get through these, what do you call it, ties, and that's what we're there for. This is what it's all about now. We wanted to get in the Champions League, and that's us there now, so let's have a right good go at it.
Does anybody think we'll sign anybody else, you know, through the close season, or do you think it all depends if we qualify, you know, for the Champions League proper? Bridgeman?
No, please carry on. Was that you, Gary?
Can you go, Gary? Sorry, yeah.
No, sorry, Bridge. 100%. I think it all depends on that, mate. I think as long as if we get into that group stages, I think you'll possibly see, I would say, 2 come in.
What positions would that be, Gary? Do you think? What would you like to see?
Well, I think it's going that boy. Obviously, it's tight at for Holland, Veerman.
Yep.
I think he would be a cert then to definitely come in, and I would imagine. Me personally, like my personal opinion would be to try and get another attacking right-sided player. But I don't know, mate. Jared likes a loan deal, and we've not had that yet. So I'm waiting to see if he's hanging back the tail end of the transfer window for that, if you mean. But I don't honestly know where he would use the second one. But I think that boy, for Holland, would definitely be a cert. But then I can see another loan signing coming in somewhere in the team.
Bridgeman?
Well, to be honest, I would have to say, like most folk, I wouldn't know exactly where the manager would want to purchase, what positions he'd like to purchase. But I would imagine whichever it is, it's going to have to be a big step up from what we've got, because we've all said it in the past, and this tonight alone, we have got a good team, good squad coming together, all gelling nicely by the look of it. I'm not saying we would ever go to what distance we can get in the Champions League with this squad, but if we do get through, I would imagine the manager will buy 2 for whatever position, and they would step straight in and they would carry, because they would have to be really good players. Other than that, it's very well gone positions we've got, but I do think they'll bring in 2 players. I don't know which positions, and I have to say that in all honesty. But then that may mean we get to the Champions League. It may mean that the club then opens its doors for offers for some of our players. You know what I mean? This is swings and roundabouts, so I just don't know what's going to happen there. However, I do think if we get through, I think there'll be 1 or 2 players coming in, but they've got to be taught. They've got to be Kent quality. I mean that sincerely. You've got to have people of the quality of Kent, so they don't need to worry about who's playing alongside you or who you're worried about. It's a case of get the squad as high as you can, quality-wise.
Alec Kelly?
I think, to be honest with you, I think Gerard's quite happy with the squad that he's got. I mean, he's spent a lot of money. He's got his business all done early. I mean, we looked at the team that we fielded on Saturday. We could field another team, you know, which is just as good a quality, if no better. You know, so we're a wee bit kind of top-heavy loaded in the squad. We're needing to offload still, like, say, Barker and Jones and, you know, guys like that. But what the Champions League may mean is rather than adding to the squad, it means that possibly we don't need to sell that players like, say, there were a lot of talk about Kamara getting sold and Morelos getting bidded and, you know, other players like that, Ryan Kent as well. So it possibly stops us from losing these sort of players, which is, for me, that's equally as good as like a new signing coming in, because we don't want to lose these guys if we want to progress to that next level.
Yep. Alec Fisher.
I agree with Alec there. I think he's happy with what he's got. Okay, if somebody comes who's got to enhance the teams a bit better, they might certainly go for it. But why they've got the players you know, Jordan Jones, well, I heard he's going to Wigan on loan now. I don't know if that's right or not, but that's the talk anyway. But no, I'm quite happy with Stevie Gerrard. He seems happy with the players he's got now. Time will tell. I wouldn't really want to burst in the bank now because we're really spending. I'd be quite happy now just for to get by these qualifiers and get to this Champions League with the players and that we've got now.
I've just been setting some for a wise man. SPFL chairman Murdoch McLellan has written to Scotland's clubs slamming Rangers over the Singe standoff. Are we right to stand by our own sponsors, guys? Gary?
Absolutely. Definitely, aye. It's an absolute mince deal. I can't believe these guys have been sitting on board and that's all they can come up with. You know what I mean? And I don't know the whole ins and outs of our dispute port, to be fair, so I'm not going to say too much on it, but for what I gather, the club are doing the right thing, mate.
What do you think, Alec Kelly?
Absolutely, mate. Listen, see if it's annoying that Murdo McLennan that whatever we're doing, good.
Aye, fair point.
Because we've got to start making a stand on certain things. We've been, you know, railroaded far too much over the years with Peter Lywell and all his cronies. We know what that SPFL's all about with their Zoom calls and awarding titles and then a missed email with Dundee. We know what they're all about. So if that annoys him, good.
Did you say Zoom or Zoomer?
B.
Alec Fisher.
100% right there. This is goes down to the handing a league title there and all. It was even for fault, the contract at the end of the season. So it's a bit of tit for tat. But we've got the right people in, Donald Park and these guys and that. And they as you say about that McLellan, who really cares what he thinks anyway?
I've saved the best till last. Bridgeman?
Well, I think it's going to be really difficult for the SPFL to do anything to Rangers, other than the usual crap, come out and get a full step investigation into us. It was led by a judge or something like that. Just rubbish. So I don't see anything like that happening. There's an argument going on between our club chairman and their chairman, McClenaghan. So it's up to them, those two, to come to terms, see what they're going to do. I don't think it's right that whatever it is they went and negotiated, they're going to force it through on every club. I don't think that's right. It might be a majority of clubs for all I know, in which case maybe Rangers just have to suck it and see, and then that's all there is to it. But if they're forcing Rangers against their will, to do whatever they're trying to do, I think Rangers will need to get a big fight on. But we need to watch what we're doing. So if it's all legal and they've got a majority of clubs doing it, then we know who our enemies are. Yeah, when it comes to this, there's no good asking them for help and backing. We've done that for the last 2 years and we've never got it. They've told them they'll get it, but they've never done it at the end. And that'll continue doing that. So we need to watch our P's and Q's. We don't want to get the club slammed and heavily fined or whatever it is, or any person banned from football and all that crap. Because these are the kind of things they might turn into do. I would like Rangers to win this case in the nicest manner possible. Let's put it that way. But if it goes against us, we have to go with it. We can't continue a fight. We can't afford it. I don't mean financially, we just can't afford to do it.
Mm-hmm. No, good point, Bridge. I think what the SPFL really like, guys, is a James Bisgrove, a guy that can go out and seem to, get decent deals for our club. 10 a penny. He's doing a fantastic job. But for them to try and force this through, and just to say to Rangers, now you're just going to accept it and roll over. Disgrace. I think you need to watch out what you're saying when it comes to Rangers. If you're saying that Rangers won't be asked to roll over, they may be told they're having a 12, let's say 12, there's 12 clubs here, and we're all voting on this, and we've all voted, you're the only one that doesn't like it. Well, I don't think there's very much they can do. Obviously, it's up to the legal team to come up with the results of that. We need to just watch what we're doing, because if it comes to that, we know what they're like, we know all these teams and all these clubs, we know what they will say. If it comes to a vote, every one of them will vote against us, and that's for sure, in my opinion. Yep, fair play, Bridgeman. I'm going to ask you a question, guys, in regards to, obviously, we were talking about the Champions League and what would be the perfect season. Would it be such a bad season if we, got to the Champions League group stages, say we finished third, we dropped into Europa, and went another stage in the Europa and won the league and maybe a cup? Would that still be seen as a great season, Gary?
100%, mate. For me, if we get to the group stages, that's that, and the league is an achievement for me. The cups, the cups are not a biggie for me, to be honest, mate.
Alec Kelly, what would be your ideal season? What would be acceptable?
Sorry, Gary, totally disagree with you, mate. For me, the cups are just as important as the league. We've got a treble here to fight for. We've now won 55 league championships, 30 Scottish Cups and 27 League Cups, just settling for second places and all that. 115 domestic trophies. A treble's up for grabs this year. I want a treble, qualify for the Champions League. Third place, I would accept, but it's time to start dominating domestic football again for me. Stevie J said he sell 1 trophy to 9 isn't good enough for him, so it shouldn't be good enough for us.
Bridgeman?
Brilliant points, by the way, brilliant points. I think if you're asking me personally what I would expect, what I would like to get, number one, I'd like to win the league. It'd be fabulous if we could win the league again. Number two, because that's so close by, which is the championship, the European Championships, I'd like that. We can get on, just get through, because we've got 2 ties, haven't we? We'll get this tie, and then we'll get another tie coming up against, who is it?
Olympiacos or Ludogorets is the next round if we beat Malmo.
If we beat Malmo, and then after that, that's us through, yeah. So we'll get 2 ties, 4 games to go out and play, prove that we're good. And if we can get through that, that would be wonderful and miraculous to a certain extent, It would be great for us if we could get through that. That would be great. That would do me, get us into that level and see how we go on. If we got through another stage, well, wake me up, please, because I'm dreaming. Just wake me up. However, I really would love to get the league. The league would be icing in my cake. And as Alec Kelly said there, we're a club steeped in tradition of winning and winning and winning. And yes, there has been some steps that we've missed out in the last couple of seasons, particularly last season, we had 2 great chances to get through into to win a cup. It'd be nice to win a cup, but the league for me is the most important thing. Right now, we're champions. If we can cement that, that'd be marvellous, because that's a brilliant foundation stepping forward. If we win a cup, 2 cups, it'd be fabulous. We get a treble. Oh my God! We're walking into cuckoo land, aren't we? That's in dreamland. No, seriously, guys, if we can get into the next stages, get through into the group stages, and even come out of that to get through the next, oh my God. I can't say the words. Brilliant.
Superb, Bridge. Right, guys, we've unfortunately reached that time. That's been a quick night, eh? Enjoyed that?
That's a quick 2 hours. Buddy, well done.
Yep. Just broke my duck. I'd just like to thank GB, Alec for Wishaw, Bridgeman, Luke, all the other callers. Thanks very much for phoning in. Really appreciate your time, guys, and all your help you've given me tonight. Show tomorrow night will be the normal 8 o'clock show, and it'll be with our Fox and Southside. So I hope you join them and have a good night with they guys. Gary, anything you want to say to the troops, mate?
No, just thanks very much for calling in, supporting the show as usual, guys, and all the best for tomorrow night. Won the Rangers.
Thank you, mate. And it's over to you, Bridge.
What can I say? Just a fabulous night. Well done to everybody. Thank you very much. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, tomorrow night, everybody, get hold of whatever you can and let's go to war with this mob. Let's beat them and take us through. Because that's what we want. Go on and do it. Get them, get better to idols and murder them. Keep it going for the Rangers, everybody. Keep it going.
See